Hey guys,
Hey,
welcome again. We are the Ninja Monkeys from ekvip. My name is Yaknam.
and my name is Ajnan.
In this video, we want to give you an overview of the TwinCAT 3 user interface components. In our last video, we created our first project. It's still open.
Let's explore the interface together. On top, we see the menu bar. Beneath it is the toolbar. On the left side, you can see the Solution Explorer, and on the right side, the Properties window. In the middle, you have the Editor window. And beneath it, the Message window. On the bottom of the window, you see the Information and Status bar. If you want to change the layout, you can easy drag and drop the windows around and arrange them new. Also, you can easily get to the right area by using the little icons in the toolbar. And if you click on Window in the menu bar, you will find options to save your layout or reset it.
First, let's have a closer look at the toolbar. The File menu contains commands relating to the project, like Save, Open, Close and so on. Edit contains commands for working in the text editor. In the View menu you find commands for individual default views in the user interface. As you can guess, the project window contains commands for handling the projects and its properties. The Build menu contains commands for creating the project through compilations. In the Debug menu you find commands for controlling the program execution on the controller, and for debugging tasks, like step-by-step processing, breakpoints and so on. With the commands in the TwinCAT menu you can control the TwinCAT 3 runtime environment. You can change between the modes. Activate configurations. Upload and reload device descriptions. Or compare projects if you have more than one. The TwinSafe menu is interesting for you, if you use TwinSafe in your TwinCAT project. If you add a PLC project in the Solution Explorer you will see some special menus here and more options will appear. It contains commands for opening tools which provide the development environment for working with your PLC project. In the Tool menu you will find commands for opening tools that create a particular environment for working with the project, like options for editors, installation of libraries and devices and so on. The Window menu you already got to know.
Next, we look to the left. Here we have the Solution Explorer. Because we just set up our project, we see an empty project tree in the Solution Explorer. The Solution Explorer shows everything related to the TwinCAT project itself. On top, we have the System node. Here you can configure the TwinCAT XAR with project-specific TwinCAT and real-time settings. The Solution Explorer can contain different projects at the same time, for example, motion projects, PLC projects, safety-related projects, and the I/O for the hardware configurations. At the bottom you can switch to the Team Explorer. The Team Explorer is part of the Visual Studio Core.
The big window in the middle is the Editor window. Here you can define and edit objects. For language editors, for example, ST Editor or CFC Editor, the Editor window usually shows the language editor in the lower part and the declaration editor in the upper part. ST stands for Structured Text, which is one of the 5 languages supported by the IEC 61131-3 standard, designed for programmable logic controllers. SFC stands for Sequential Function Chart and is a graphical programming language. Under the Editor window you will find the Message window. It shows current errors, warnings, and messages relating to syntax check, compile processes, etc. On the right side we find the Properties or Toolbox window. This depends on which one is currently selected, or how you arranged your windows. The Properties window shows you the properties of the object you've previously selected, and the Toolbox shows you the tools that are available for the currently active editor.
Let's have a look at the toolbar. We start on the left side. There is a drop-down menu. It shows you which TwinCAT build you are using. If you have only one build on your PC, the list will show just this one. If you have more than one, the list will show all builds, and you can select the one in which you want to work.
Interesting to know, you can have more than one build on your PC. If you need to install an earlier version of TwinCAT, you will need a remote manager to install it. You can download it on the Beckhoff website. Without it, the installation of an earlier version will fail.
Next we have the Activate Configuration icon. If you click on this icon, the whole system configuration will be downloaded and compiled, not only the Ethernet configuration. This includes, for example, different cycle time setting, licenses, task settings, and so on. Next to the Activate Configuration icon, you see two very similar buttons. The green one is the Restart TwinCAT System button and the blue one is the Restart TwinCAT in Config Mode button. Both have something to do with the runtime mode. And I think this is a good moment to explain the different runtime modes to you. Our first runtime mode is the configuration mode. This is the one with the blue background. In this runtime mode, you can build up the hardware configurations, add the licenses, and do the basic settings. The next one is the free run mode. If the runtime is in this state, the IOs will be updated. All the inputs will be read and the outputs are updating. This mode is available via the free run state toggle. The command sets found IO devices to free run mode. This means, for example, that bus terminals can set IO channels to a certain status without a PLC project or another triggering task being active. The symbol in the status bar changes between red and blue. If the runtime is in this state, it is stopped. The runtime gets in this state if you have a real target and it isn't connected, for example, via cable or Wi-Fi. Next, we have init mode. This is the runtime state during initializing the runtime or after having an exception. In this state, the PLC is not running and the IOs won't update. When you run the actual TwinCAT PLC software, this is the run mode. In this mode, TwinCAT runs all the tasks and programs.
Thank you, Ajnan. Now let's get back to the toolbar. After the Restart TwinCAT in Config Mode button, you see the Reload Device button. If you click on this command, all devices previously added to the bus system are reloading. Next to it, we have the Scan button. It looks like a little magic stick. This button is interesting if you have a real station with an Ethernet master and an Ethernet slave. The system searches for available I/O devices, connected boxes, and, if applicable, bus modules and IP-link extension modules. If we press it now, nothing will happen. No new hardware is found. Clicking on the next button will turn the online data off or on. The drop-down menu next to it is interesting for you if you have more than one solution open. You can switch between them by selecting the one you want to see in the menu. The Choose Target system makes you able to connect to the target. We don't have a remote target connected. Therefore, we select Local. Next we have the Active PLC Project drop-down menu. If we had a PLC project in here, we would be able to select on which PLC project we are working on.
On the right side of the menu you find PLC-related commands. The Activate PLC Instance button is a drop-down list for selecting the active PLC instance of the corresponding PLC project. The Login button, this command connects the programming system, the selected PLC project, with the target system, controller, and thus establishes online operation. An instance of the PLC project is created on the target system and loaded. Next there is the Start button. This command starts the execution of the program. And the Stop button, this command stops the execution of the program. Next there is the logout button. The command terminates the connection between the development system and the target system, controller, or simulated device, thus switching to offline mode. The step into button. This command executes a program in single steps. The step over button. The command executes a program in defined steps. And the step out button. This command executes the program up to the program start or the calling program. In a step into statement, the command corresponds to the single step. However, if the processing reaches a function block call, the step over results in complete processing of the called function block within the current step. A complete action is executed in a sequence chart. Use the step into command to execute a called function block step by step. If you press the toggle flow control mode, the command activates or deactivates the flow control. The single cycle button. This command executes the active PLC program for one cycle. Pressing the force values button permanently sets the value of a variable on the controller to a predefined value. The unforce value command resets the forcing of all variables. The variables get their current value from the controller. The write values command once sets the value of a variable on the controller to a predefined value. If you click on the reset cold command, it resets all variables of the active PLC project to their initialization values, except the persistent variables and the retained variables. And if you click on the reset origin button, the command resets all variables of the active PLC project, including the remnant variables like retain, persistent variables, to their initialization values, and deletes the application program from the controller.
Now you know how the TwinCAT user interface is set up, and where to find which commands. If you are new to TwinCAT, maybe some of the commands don't tell you anything by now.
This will change over time. So, if you want to learn more about TwinCAT, watch our other videos and subscribe to our channel. You can also have a look at the ekvip channel, or on the ekvip website. Both are linked in the description below the video.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.